co-creative space-time coordinates. We are the amalgamation of various visible and invisible energy systems that together generates the human hologram.
Hey everybody, welcome back to month 2 of Moldavite Mastery. Here we have Elisa Wiggins. This is their month 2. So I just give you guys an update on what's unfolding. Elisa?
Oh my gosh, so much. Okay, so from last time, our first interview together and starting to understand Moldavite, it was like I had chaos in my world. Now I've really become friends with my Moldavite, and I've understood that it has only wanted to purify me so that I can become a clearer channel to hear what is the next thing for me in helping women, in creating art. So yeah, there's been a big shift, and I know that the time is coming for this piece we talked about before, that it's going to go inside of one of my goddess images. And I started to feel sad. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to miss it. But
You did record time on finishing the job for that Moldavite.
I know. So yeah. Now it's because I've been purging so much out of material, but also my own body. I'm starting to make the connection to the goddesses that I've been already drawing for my art show, which have been, I thought they were just going to be goddesses of the past. But what I'm understanding is I'm using my future friends and women in the world today and integrating the two of them. So they're past and present, becoming one. And then now I'm starting to see future goddesses come in and want to be drawn. People like Lizzie Jeff. She's one of my favorite artists. She's super high vibe musician. And her music is what's been helping me create these images. And so I just got that actually today as I was like sitting and meditating with my Moldavite. And so I'm now starting to integrate past, present, future goddesses coming onto the images. And what I got out of this meditation today too is gods are asking to be drawn as well. So integrating masculine and the feminine together.
Yeah, so let's kind of back it up so that people are following, right?
Yeah.
You're going through your month 1, so they're gonna pay attention. It's like, okay, this is what may unfold for me as well, right? It's not the way, but it is path. So things are chaotic, very chaotic, right? When first starting with Moldavite, like stuff that's no longer aligned with your life will vibrate out. So month 2, it seems like you graduated from a solar plexus because the Moldavite you had was from Joshua tree, the sun energy. And so explain more like what it means when you are a clear channel.
When I'm a clear channel, it's like I can see visually like the words that are getting downloaded into my brain to see the one next thing for myself. So my thoughts become clear. Not that I don't have thoughts going through my head all the time, but it's almost like a movie screen where my thoughts will shift aside, and then all of a sudden I see the truth, my alignment with path, with source, with God. So that's what I guess that's the best way I can describe what clear channel is for me.
Speaking of thought, like look at her crown. Totally channeling in with like that's all quartz on your crown, yeah?
Yeah, master quartz. I don't know. Is it? There we go.
But yeah, so quartz crystals are clear they can amplify, but they're good channels for information to come through. And so when you wear it on the crown, like it'll make you a clear channel, like even more. Now tuning in to one, right? Tuning in, when we're talking about purging, Elisa also teaches yoga on the side, but now she's more focused on her artwork. But yeah, so that's what I noticed, a shift in this last few months for you, right? You're shifting out of the yoga, now incorporating, now just going all in with your art. So tell me more about that.
Oh man, it was such a scary move at first. As I had been given the opportunity to get some rest this weekend, I realized that I was feeling this sadness because I really love being a yoga teacher. I love connecting with my students who are actually my teachers. And I didn't want to stop, but I kept not having energy. I would teach a class, I would teach an hour class, and then I would just be wiped out. And I'm like, okay, what is going on? Because I know how to channel that so that I don't get tired. But I really believe that it was God's source, universe, highest self way of saying, I need you to make this shift because I'm sending you gods and goddesses that want to be drawn, and I've chosen you as the vessel for them to come through. Will you accept the challenge? Or not even challenge, will you accept the offer? And how can I deny that?
It's a calling.
So,
it's a calling. Well, once we accept it, it's like, it's going to unfold for us.
Yeah. So through my rest this weekend, I was able to start creating this one back here. It's nowhere near finished. It's kind of hard to see. The light is so bright. I don't know if I dim it. Yeah, no, not really. But that's okay. It'll make you have to come back and come look at it when it's finished at the show. So that's what I'm creating next. Is I'm creating that my goddesses art show. I had a name come to me, but I kind of lost it. So I got to go back and meditate on that. So,
okay.
Yeah.
I feel like what's coming through for you with these previous goddesses, because as I'm over here being a channel myself, right, I'm getting Wonder Woman Island a lot coming through. And one of my dreams actually had the other painting you did of one of the goddesses, and like that lady looks familiar.
Oh my gosh.
So that person actually exists on a higher realm, right? Yeah. When we are a clear channel, we can kind of tune in and tap in to get these visions and these guidances. And the clearer we are as a channel, like that painting, right? When you're drawing, you're channeling a bunch of higher energy from higher realms into that painting.
Yeah. Yeah. And so speaking of higher realms, channeling higher realms into the paintings, this Moldavite's going in one. This one's going to have labradorite stones. The very first one with the big crown that I did, everybody will see eventually. She's going to have master quartz inside hers. And then there's another owl one that I did that's going to have citrine. So another goddess owl, Athena. But yeah, so yeah, it's cool. And then I'm being able to meditate and pray over each of these images and connect with them before I start to draw, connect with the highest self to hear them and see them. Isis, I just started reading a book, The Sophia Code.
Yes.
Isis, like I don't know, I've heard her name several times in my life, never looked her up, nothing. And then all of a sudden I kept seeing all these flashes of Egyptian stuff and Ankhs and these ancient time shows I started watching were all about Isis. And then, so I look her up and I look at what she looks like, and she's exactly what I saw in my visions. She had this ankh around her eye, and I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, she's next. So I'm being able to have her from past, and now I'm getting like I was mentioning, Lizzie Jeff, like just this now goddess, but her future, I feel like her future goddess has asked me, or her highest self rather, like if I was to say, hey, highest self, can I draw you, Lizzie Jeff? I feel like she'd be like, yeah, sister. You know, so it's like all of these people are just coming into that I had no clue. And now it's the clearer I get, the softer I understand. I work with these Moldavites, and the one I just got today, like the more I just fall in love with myself and become a clearer channel, just keep going, and then all of the downloads just keep coming.
Where do you see yourself with this art show, right? Because in the 6 months, I feel like something's going to happen. Because right now, what we're just doing on the second interview is just unfolding, right? We have no format, because what we're being trained is like, as we are figuring all this workout, it's going to unfold for itself. Same thing with your artwork. We see the visions of, wow, what is it's going to become, right? Now we're just tying in the steps. But what was the vision you had for your art and your art show?
So I picture a big space, and I would like to have a stage in the middle of the room, and all of my pieces, my creations, would be along the outskirts of the room. So it'd be on the walls, or maybe hanging from the ceiling, I don't know, on the outskirts. And I want to have everyone come in and lead a guided meditation with Moldavite in the room, and all these stones and crystals. And the lights will be dim. There'll be candles, some sort of soft light. Everybody close their eyes. We'll do the meditation. And then as we come out of the meditation, and the lights will start to open up a little bit, they'll open their eyes, and these goddesses on stage will be dancing in these beautiful dresses, all wearing some sort of crown on their head. And then at the end of that portion of it, the lights will come on, and they'll start looking around and be surrounded by all these gods and goddesses with all of these crystals and stones. And there's going to be a surprise art piece in there. I don't want to say what it is. It's going to be super cool. You got to come to the show.
We're gonna look back at this video. I was like, oh yeah, I think it's coming together. This is what it looks like, but I'm not sure. And then boom. Wouldn't it be cool to see like the final outcome? Like, oh my God, this is like what we kind of saw, but not really. And then, I just can't wait.
Yeah, I can't wait too. I'm really excited. I've had this vision for a while, even when you and I first started, and I wasn't taking the time to have it come into fruition, but I also wasn't hearing, because I wasn't aligned, and I was trying to do something else because I had some attachment to it. And so, in the beginning with Moldavite, if I was attached to something, it would break or just disappear.
They're literally changing timelines, changing the channel.
Yeah. But now nothing's breaking or disappearing. It's like just a little tap, like, hey, don't worry, I got you. Go this way.
Isn't it like hanging on for dear life when you first start with Moldavite? Like,
oh my God, my whole house was like trying to lift off the ground. I mean, come on. I don't know if you remember, stuff was flying out of my cabinets as you took the grids down.
Insane. But now just looking back, it just makes so much sense. You're like in this little force field. It is like the Wonder Woman island that we're
Totally.
And you're one of the pieces to help connect the grid, and eventually you're gonna spread out and do your own grid when you get your first inventory and start your grids.
Yeah.
I do want to ask, okay, so I went to one of your intuitive drawings that you were teaching. I thought that was so fascinating, uh, because like how I interpret it is I didn't even, it kind of connect my conscious and unconscious through the colors and just a drawing. Um, and so so if you want to describe that really quick, like how the color and art merge together to tell like how you're feeling and what's in your reality.
Sure. So I just lead people through a guided meditation, a color meditation. And first, I have you ask the question to something that you would like to know, a next step on the next thing to do. And I guide you through a color meditation so that you connect to each color and what it feels like to be that color, what it looks like, what that color does, and what emotions arise with that color. And then after I go through each color, I have you write down any words, emotions, thoughts, feelings that came along with that color. And then at the end of going through the 7 chakra colors, I have you close your eyes and then allow your hand to intuitively guide you to what colors need to be picked up as you draw your Picasso. And you do not need to be an artist to do this. It's meant to be scribbly. It's meant to be funky and weird and maybe chaotic, maybe beautiful. All of it's beautiful. And then when you open your eyes, you have this beautiful masterpiece. And whatever colors that you chose to draw in, you'll write next to that all of your emotions, thoughts, feelings, action, whatever that came to mind. And then by the end of that, you'll have your answer to your question. And I help you download or decode the download, basically.
Oh yeah, that was kind of mind blowing for me because I was like, where am I going to go after California? And it led me to one of it was at La Jolla Indian Trail, right? And it came through that painting and the drawing. Like, well, this is so interesting, but super cool, right? Intuitive drawing, intuitive art. So that was my first exposure to it. But yeah, if you're open to it, like let's host one so you could just walk. People are like watching, like it's really cool, guys. And for those who love drawing, like I remember when I was little, like art wasn't the way, right? It didn't make money. That's how society viewed it. But it's connecting you with your higher self. You're tuning into something, right? It wants to be drawn, but people decide to shut it down. And then to put money on it, like it's not worthy of something. But now it's like, no, your paintings, whoever's meant to go to that painting will find it.
Yeah.
Same thing with Moldavite. Like if it's meant for that person, like they'll come for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm learning that. I'm really excited for this show because, I had a show in between the first show I did, the animal series, the Survivors of the Wild series. That one was super successful. Also, the people that went in there, they got healing. And that's what my journey is with this artwork, is to bring healing into people's homes, into their lives, through their bodies, help them become clearer channels so they can hear.
I noticed the person that came were actually very high vibe people, like people who's
they were.
So that's the kind of energy that you're pulling towards the people who come to the show. I think that's pretty cool. So we can host some classes on that. We'll keep you updated. And then third, and I know something was like important to you too, like speaking with women who's been in past relationships. So if you want to talk about that.
Sure. Yeah. So what I would like to happen out of all of this artwork is to be financially successful so that I can help women who have come out of abusive marriages, relationships that have really struggled to make it. Because when I myself was in an emotionally abusive relationship, and it took a lot for me to get out, and the lack and scarcity mindset that I had was this fear that I couldn't make it on my own, because your brain gets trained to think that you can't make it on your own. And so I want to be here to help women speak their truth, raise their voices, to be able to know that they are strong enough to make it and get out, that you deserve to be loved 100%. And by me being able to have the finances through all of this, it will help me to be able to give to those. I've met so many women that are not leaving because they don't have the finances. And so if I can provide that for them and get them to safety, or, show them the path, that's just my life's purpose in all of this. This is why all of this is happening. So yeah, that's my dream. I don't know, it feels really big and overwhelming, and I don't know exactly what it looks like, but I'll be showing the way. So I've had women reach out to me and thank me for sharing my stories. And I was so afraid to post my stories. And I always told my mom, if I could just only help one woman in my life, I've done my job. And I'm grateful for the lesson and the teacher that was put into my life to learn how to love myself, so that I could help other women love themselves and help them understand that they are their own healers. And so I had somebody recently, good friend now, reach out. I've met her once in my life, and she's like, thank you. You made a difference in my life. I'm out in safety. She's like, yeah, that's confirmation right there.
Yeah, and you just never know who's watching, right?
Yeah.
You just never know, right? When I first got my vision of, hey, I'm going to create some kind of movie, it was so far-fetched. Like, here I'm just creating from my phone, but then my very first client was a Hollywood screenwriter who's connected. So you just never know who's going to tune in.
Yeah.
And it's just about sharing the message, and whatever resonates with people, they'll call for that person. Like, we trust that whoever is meant to be called forth will be called forth.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's I definitely feel that coming into fruition. But just lead from the heart and just draw your heart away and keep sharing.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
You can be a part of this journey with me.
I feel like now we get a little time to breathe.
Right?
It wasn't like until last night that I felt like, okay, things are flowing again.
Yes, I feel it today.
Yeah, it's interesting how everyone's in sync in the group, like so in sync where it's kind of mind blowing. We also talk about the light language.
Oh yeah. So
whatever's gonna flow is gonna come through. We're gonna go with it, right? There's no format for this interview. Whatever's coming through is wants to come through. So we're just gonna talk. There's no format, so go for it.
cool. So yeah, light language. I was gifted light language about 6 years ago, and being in that marriage where I wasn't allowed to use my voice, I wasn't. It was forbidden. Wasn't allowed to speak it, and so I would just speak it in private, but I didn't really quite understand it. I was like, okay, I'm just speaking gibberish. And then just recently, as I've been becoming that clear channel and just connecting to God, it's such a beautiful language. And I'm starting to understand more of it as I speak it. Now I'm starting to be able to sing in it. And now I'm getting light codes that I'm seeing in a language that I believe is what I'm speaking. So yeah, that's super cool. So I've been able to pray over people in light language, and they've seen my spirit guides that I work with and have experienced some shifts within their body, and I feel that I activate them to be able to speak light language at some point in their lives. That this girl that I met on Instagram, I think it's like God's Molecule. She's super cool chick. I listened to one of her light language transmissions, and it like activated me to be able to sing. So I believe light language helps activate one another.
Yes, I feel the same way. Like a few months ago, like something just pulled me to go watch some random Instagram girls light language, and it does sound like gibberish, right?
Yeah.
Like I noticed when our body becomes a clear channel, I noticed something triggering with my body as she was saying those words that doesn't even make sense. It's like a different language.
Yeah. It's
And when
vibrations, sound.
it is, and when you did your session with us with the group of girls for the full moon, I felt something like that was interesting, and it's very powerful.
Yeah.
So that's something to embrace, and
Super powerful.
yeah, maybe we can do like intro to that too, so people can kind of understand
Okay.
what that is. But
Yeah, sure.
there's a lot that wants to come through for those who actually chose to accept the call to be this clear channel. Whatever Moldavites wanted to come through to spread the message, right?
Yeah.
But it's been quite a journey out there, woo, and it's so much fun, and to see all the magic and synchronicities are like, okay, I don't know what else to say anymore, except like be the work.
Yeah, I think some people are they're just on different levels of ascension. That's what I get. I don't know. Different timelines, like you said, yeah. So it's all amazing and weird, and I love it, and it's truth. I know it. I feel it. I'm one thing that Moldavite is helping me with too is understanding that I have all psychic abilities. I'm finally getting that. Oh, I am a knower. Oh, I am clairvoyant. Oh, I can smell entities. I can hear them. I can see that. At first I thought I just have one, and maybe I did start with one. And as I've done the work of learning and becoming a partner with my intuition, and then working with it with Moldavite, it's just expanded.
Yay! And so now you're entering your second Moldavite. I'm gonna show everybody.
Yes, I'm so excited.
So the story behind this one, Elisa's been drawing that owl, Athena. Like it's been coming up in conversation for like the last few weeks, and it wasn't until last night when I got the hit. Like a new Moldavite wants to come to her, and it's activated on Mount Shasta on 88 Lions Gate, and it looks just like an owl. You can see it here. But this little guy actually came through, and I was like, how come no one came for the Mount Shasta sounds? Like I put it on my website, and it just dawned on me that someone did try to come for it a few months ago, and I took it down, and then it just never followed through. And so it was never updated on the website. You saw it? How did you feel?
I was like, that's mine. And I thought that it was an owl, and you sent it to me on my phone, and I stared at it for like what felt like an hour. I was like in love with it.
It looks like an owl, and the owl's been showing up for her, and 8-8 and lions.
8-8, yeah, and lions been coming into my view, so I'm like, oh yes, this aligns. Okay.
So Mount Shasta activated ones are for royalty, influence, and royalty and influence is just our field being expanded to such a capacity that we can hold space for more people. That's what I'm talking about, like stepping into fame, right? It's just influence. You can hold space for more people. Because before, like as we are trying to expand, we're limited by our like thoughts, judgments, point of views, right? Until we clear it enough to expand it to this different level, and then now connecting with the new Moldavite from that energy grid, we're about to step into influence.
Influence and adventure.
Love too. So royalty again, it's going to be with twin flame, love. Who knows what this little guy will bring. So that is her Moldavite number 2, activate Mount Shasta for month 2. Anything else you want to share, Lisa, for your second interview?
Oh man, I saw the vision in that of what's to come, so I'm really excited about that. But I suppose, like if anyone is ever afraid of working with Moldavite, don't be. It's a beautiful stone to work with and become a partner with. And I'm just like, I'm beyond grateful to be chosen to walk this path and to be able to reach women, just all people around the world, to be able to help them heal and help me heal, because all of you help me heal too. And I'm just grateful to do this journey with you all. I love you.
Yay. Love you too, and everyone who's watching. Yeah, we're just sending everyone watching lots of love right now in a time where we need to heal as a planet. So one day at a time, whatever we can bring forth to help with this new earth, we're doing it on the front lines. So that's all we have for everyone today. And we love you all. Let's call this a wrap. So Tammy Doe and
Elisa Wiggins.
thank you for being here.
Thank you, Tammy.
You're welcome. Thank you. Love you all. It's a wrap.
Yeah.
See you for month 3.